in rerouting the plane around the thunderstorm that developed, ultimately taking down the Air France plane. Now, of course, this is all speculatory of what's actually taking place. All of the information is so new with this particular instance here for AirAsia, but there's one thing for certain: this is a very active weather pattern across this part of the world. In fact, you can see this moisture flow that is coming down from the South China Sea. This is a northeasterly wind that builds up all kinds of moisture, and then it reaches Singapore into Malaysia and Thailand, very mountainous part of the world. It takes that moisture, cools it, condenses it, and helps form those thunderstorms. And if the thunderstorms move across the Java Sea, where the plane was traversing, keep in mind there's a lot of updrafts with thunderstorms, and that can really throw around airplanes quite easily. We recall that, or call that turbulence, of course. And so this is our concern going forward, that the recovery efforts, if this is the case, is going to be hampered by additional bad weather. You can see just how active our precipitation forecast is across Singapore, and just to the south we have lots of rainy conditions and thunderstorms moving through the region. Again, this is monsoon season. We expect this type of weather this time of year, but it has just been consistent. In fact, we have rainfall totals going forward over the next 2 days, upwards of 100 millimeters near Singapore. So definitely bad weather, speculative, but certainly could have been a factor in the disappearance of this plane.
And Derek, let me just ask you, before I let you go, about the water conditions in that area. What you know at this stage, of course, we do not know what has happened to this AirAsia flight that went missing from Indonesia to Singapore. But Mary Schiavo was pointing out that this was an area with quite rough currents. What can you tell us about water depths? Just give us some sense of the lay of the land.
Okay, well, this is a very deep ocean across this part of the world. But one thing's for certain: when we get convective thunderstorms that develop thanks to the monsoon season across this area, it doesn't take much for the outburst of a thunderstorm to push up the waves and create very choppy conditions. So not only is the cloud cover overhead and the persistent rain and perhaps thunder and lightning hampering some of the efforts across that region,